From voter education to security concerns, details of preparations as Edo goes to the poll to elect a new governor.
To the political parties and the candidates, I urge you to adhere strictly to the rules and respect the electoral process.
Thank you for joining us on Network News. I am Lami Ali. Jennifer Igwe is standing by in our Lagos studio. Musa Abubakar is our business news guide, and Ayodeji Makinde is on sports updates. You can follow us on all our social media handles displayed on your screen. We begin with the presidency. President Bola Tinubu is reassuring Nigerians that his desire to lead the country came from a place of passion to work hard for the general development of the country and not for self-aggrandizement. The president said this when he met with members of the Forum of Former National Assembly presiding officers at the State House this Friday. The State House correspondent, Ms. Baudan Wahab, brings us the details.
One of the most respected former chairmen of the National Assembly, Ken Nnamani, led his counterpart to the presidential villa this day. Asiwaju proves his popularity once again as a unifier, bringing together these former presiding officers that have at different times shaped the past of the national parliament and the nation's democratic journey. A senator in the aborted Third Republic himself, and with experienced former lawmakers also in his cabinet, President Tinubu certainly values the contributions of his guests to the cause of nation building. Belated, albeit, they expressed their joy and satisfaction that one of them is currently piloting the affairs of the country. And as the government addresses the current social and economic challenges, they lauded the president for some of the policy decisions he has taken so far, particularly in tackling insecurity in parts of the country and for giving hope to grassroots development through the local government autonomy.
It is in this light and in the national interest that we wish to pledge our support as we work tirelessly to restore national security, build an economy that works for all, and strengthen the bond of unity amongst our desperate peoples.
There was no subsidy in the budget handed over to me.
Fuel subsidy removal and its multiplier effects on Nigerians was again a talking point. Here, President Tinubu spared no efforts in explaining the implications of a fuel subsidy payment, which he says has only benefited a few to the detriment of majority of Nigerians and general development.
If we are spending this money, not few people are spending it on ourselves, I believe we will get better return and happiness and development program. If we invest it in our infrastructure, to some extent that we are now afraid to even borrow to invest.
While addressing the challenges on the way to better prosperity for the country, the president assures that the growth of democracy and the well-being of Nigerians remain part of his administration's priorities.
And I can assure you, I didn't come to look for money and exploit the situation. I came to work. I asked for the votes, and they gave it to me. We've sustained 25 years of democracy this year. We don't want to keep the people hungry and angry. But we say, be patient. There is no free beer parlor anymore. We will retool and rebuild the Nigerian economy, I assure you, with your cooperation.
Not just handshakes for the parting gift, President Tinubu also gives hope as he calls for cooperation of these leaders of thirds and other Nigerians as his government promises to ensure a country to be proud of. From the State House, Musbal and Wahab, NTA News.
As electorates in Edo State prepare to elect a new governor this Saturday, President Bola Tinubu has called on all stakeholders in the upcoming Edo State governorship elections to conduct themselves peacefully and sportingly. In a statement by the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, the President implores the governorship candidates, political parties and supporters to respect democratic process and the people's will. President Tinubu expresses belief in the voters' ability to make informed decisions about their future leaders, while emphasizing that democracy thrives on civility, tolerance, patience, and respect for the rules of the game. He notes that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has committed to conducting a free and fair election and urges all stakeholders to work together to ensure a successful and peaceful process. The President commends the governorship candidates and political parties for their campaigns, which are focused on issues that matter most to the people of Edo State, including improving livelihoods, promoting economic growth, and contributing to national developments. President Tinubu also expresses unwavering confidence in the professionalism and integrity of security agencies and INEC officials, urging them to remain impartial and avoid any actions that could compromise the integrity of the electoral process. Politics is dynamic, and this played out in Edo State in 2008 following a court judgment altering the election cycle of the state. Mia Ogidi in this report highlights some remarkable political events in the state and the task in achieving a successful poll in the 2024 Edo governorship election.
Benin, the capital of Edo State, the capital is even more popular than the state. But at the moment, there is something more popular than Benin, the Edo governorship election. It is a stand-alone election, so all eyes on Edo State. A state endowed with some best brains, industrious people, talented youth, and a rich culture still searching for a match. Came into existence August 27, 1991, when the old Bendel state was divided into Edo and Delta states. Edo State had the conquered history of elections, and it happens to be one of the 8 states where the judiciary has fostered off-cycle governorship elections in Nigeria, when Professor Oserime Osombo lost it at the court, handing over to Adams Oshemole. From 1999 to date, it's been a beautiful political history.
It is our prayer that we continue to be of service to our nation.
Lucky Ebenedion was the governor of the state from 1999 to 2007. Professor Oserime Osombo, 2007 to 2008. Adams Oshemole, 2008 to 2016. An incumbent governor, Godwin Obaseki, 2016 to 2024. The 2024 Edo Decides is another moment of history to the Sadebe Government House, Benin City. 17 candidates looking up to 2.2 million voters in 4,519 polling units in 18 local government areas. Candidates promise peaceful process, an accord signed. Personnel deployed from security agencies, and INEC says, let there be peace.
Election is a multi-stakeholders activity. INEC has a role to play, but this must be complemented by stakeholders. The 2024 Edo State governorship election is not just a national election. It is also of global interest. The Commission has so far accredited 134 observer groups, 124 domestic and 10 international, and together they are deploying 1,000 836 observers across the state.
To the political parties and the candidates, I urge you to adhere strictly to the rules and respect the electoral process. Let us collectively foster an environment that upholds democratic values and honors the will of our people.
Who will finally wear the crown? The die is cast and still rolling. Let's wait for the final whistle from INEC. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
The Defense Headquarters says its troops are strategically deployed to ensure that the off-cycle governorship election scheduled for 21st September 2024 in Edo State is violence-free, fair and credible. In a statement, the Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, shows that troops are to support the police to ensure voter safety and thwart the activities of those elements bent on fomenting crisis during the elections. In another development, troops eliminated 159 terrorists, arrested 174 criminals, 45 perpetrators of oil theft, while 188 kidnapped victims were rescued. The Co-Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, has directed adequate deployment of personnel for the Edo State governorship elections. As part of efforts put in place and to ensure smooth conduct of the forthcoming Edo State governorship elections, the Co-Marshal ordered operatives of the Corps to collaborate with other security agencies to enforce compliance with restrictions of vehicular movements. The directive also mandates personnel to clear obstructions from the roads, carry out rescue operations in case of emergencies, and maintain orderliness in polling booths. Time now to go to Benin to join Obey to bring us updates from Edo. Obey, it's over to you.
Welcome to Benin. Few hours to the polls, election frenzy in the air, last-minute matchup by security apparatus, anticipation high among electoral stakeholders. Anwuli Okolo has some highlights of activities this eve to the election.
We're sorry for the lack of audio. We shall get back to Benin when issues get improved. Now, the federal government's Committee on Consequential Adjustments in Salaries has reached agreements on a particular option 1 week after its inauguration. Herman Jabani reports that head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, made the announcement after the committee's meeting in Abuja.
The committee has, as part of its terms of reference, to negotiate and agree on the consequential adjustments in salaries arising from the provisions of the National Minimum Wage Act 2024. After 7 days of extensive and rigorous deliberations, the committee has agreed on a particular option that all parties involved believe will make workers happy.
So the committee has agreed on a particular option for the consequential adjustments. And to that end, the committee has signed a memorandum of association. That is, Labour side and government side have agreed on this particular option, and it is now left for the committee to forward its resolutions to government for further action. The assurance to civil servants is that yes, we have crossed the first hurdle. and we believe that government will do what is in the best interest of the civil servants.
First of all, I want to thank God and then thank the head of civil service of the Federation. What I want to just say is we believe that what we have done fair to both the workers and federal government. And this thing, I believe everybody, when it comes out, everybody will be happy.
The committee says the implementation will take effect when the act is assented to by the government. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. We take a short break to bring you some messages. Thank you for staying. We go back to Benin, and now we join Anwuli, who is on the streets of Benin, to give us updates on the mood on the streets on the eve of the governorship elections. Anwuli, tell us, what's the situation there?
Hello, good evening. It's, should I say, a calm but yet not quiet environment here. We still have vehicular movements going on the road. You know, it's expected people are just traveling into town to cast their ballots tomorrow. Earlier when we came here, some 45 minutes ago, we still had heavy commercial activities. People were buying things ahead of tomorrow. Almost felt like Christmas because, you know, we kept seeing them buying things ahead of the polls tomorrow. So, but now it's calmer, though it's not quiet. We still have movements here and there. We have groups, you know, pockets of groups around. They're not sleeping, they're awake. They're just talking about the elections and trying to catch up on activities. So that's how it is here on the streets. This is Olia Junction, which happens to be a ward that has about 31 polling units, and we expect that by tomorrow these polling units will be brimming with voters who want to cast their ballot. And then, of course, it's expected while there's a bit of tension in the air. People are waiting. There's this weight in the air. They can't just wait for tomorrow. And you wouldn't blame the people who are still awake by this time, because this is unusual. Olia Junction is a junction that by this time should be quiet, but it still has activities going on here and there. And then if you see the build-up throughout today and then previous days before now, it's expected that people will still, you know, it's expected that they are not sleeping and waiting for tomorrow, because we've had, like today we had the Labour Party candidate come out to emphatically say that he has not dropped out of the governorship race. And then we had another candidate from the AD party come step down from the race. So it's just been, you know, stories back to back to keep the people up on their feet. And then the police has reiterated that they would ensure that the activities are smooth. I'm sure you just see security van go by. So it's just been activities back to back to keep the people up on their feet, and citizens want to know what's going on per time, per second. So, and then it's reflecting on the streets, because people are walking around at Olia Junction at 9:24. So yeah, that's how it is here.
Thank you, Anwuli, for the update. Thank you. Now, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari has delivered 200 trailers of assorted food to Borno State as directed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The food items are to assist the victims of September 9th flood disaster in the state. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
Food, water, shelter and clothing are the necessities of anyone's survival. These hard-earned resources of some people in Maiduguri, Borno State, were either washed away or destroyed by the September 9, 2024 flood. While the victims are being sheltered in camps and others returning home, the federal government is supporting them with a variety of food. Abubakar Kyari, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, delivered 6,000 tons of food consisting of rice, maize, millet and sorghum to the state governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum.
We have already mandated the National Nigeria Agricultural Development Fund, which is a new organization that was set up barely a year and a half ago, to come to the aid of the farmers.
Each beneficiary will receive 25 kg bag of rice,
and a spaghetti. While within the community, we intend to give 25 kg bag of rice or 50 kg bag of maize, and then a carton of spaghetti.
He said the destruction done to agriculture in the state is huge, and the affected hectares of unharvested farms are yet to be ascertained. To this end, the federal and Borno state governments will constitute a committee to verify how to improve food production in the state. A letter to that effect was presented to the governor. The committee will work with the National Agricultural Development Fund. From Maiduguri, Borno State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Renewed Hope initiative of the First Lady, Senator Lami Tinubu, has extended a helping hand to those affected by flood disaster in Maiduguri and environs. State coordinator of the program, who is also wife of Borno State Governor Dr. Falmata Babagana Umar Zulum, led the distribution exercise and warns victims against selling the items. Pauline Kujefana brings us the details.
Baba Gana Umar Zulum ya iya lura da jama'ansa.
Through
the Renewed Hope initiative, essential food and non-food items were distributed to the displaced flood victims taking refuge at Gubio camp, which is currently hosting over 20,000 individuals and 4,000 households. Dr. Falmata Babagana Umar Zulum, wife of the Borno State Governor and State Coordinator of the RHI, urged the recipient not to sell the items, but use them to cushion the effect of the flood disaster.
These materials brought today will go a long way in alleviating the hardship of our people. We intend to sustain this, inshallah.
Food items and non-food items distributed to each of the beneficiaries include 25 kg of rice, a pack of spaghetti, cooking oil, kettle, pomade, bucket, net, and seasoning. The people of Maiduguri are grateful for this timely intervention by the Renewed Hope initiative amidst the flood devastation. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
As part of their corporate social responsibility, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Total Energies and other partners have officially commissioned and handed over a mammography center in Garikina General Hospital to the government of Adamawa State. Simon Asha reports that the center, equipped with the state-of-the-art facilities, is to improve early diagnosis and treatment of breast cancer among women.
Adamawa State has recorded 1,972 suspected cases of breast cancer, with 165 of the women diagnosed with the disease in the state. The commission and handing over of the mammography center by NNPCL, Total Energies, among other partners in Garikina General Hospital to the government and people of Adamawa State is not only timely but essential to curb the menace of breast cancer among other related diseases through a diagnosis and treatment.
Initially, if we have suspected case of, let's say, breast cancer, we have to send them or refer them to either Teaching Hospital Zaria or Teaching Hospital Aminu Kano, because it's not close. There is no this center around this northeast zone. But to God, now we have it in our own hometown, Garikida.
Yes. The center, equipped with the state-of-the-art facility, has the capacity to detect and treat cancer cases with a 20% capacity reception and waiting area, breast biopsy set, office for radiologists, computers, mammography, technicians bay, cancer treatment rooms, among other facilities, to help Nigeria achieve the United Nations SDG goal number 3 of good health and well-being through access to quality health care for the people.
This center can help in detecting cancer early, and when it is detected early, it can be treated. So we are indeed very happy, and we thank the donors.
And I believe with this edifice here, women will be happy.
By thanking NNPC, Total Energy, and the other partners for bringing this laudable project.
Earlier this year, Total Energies also commissioned a maternal and child referral center in Kwai General Hospital, Jaba local government area in Kaduna State, to provide specialized care to pregnant women and patients with various health needs. In Yola, Simon Asha, NTA News.
Yobe State's strategic investment in human capital development through education has achieved a new milestone as 171 of the 233 beneficiaries of foreign scholarship have successfully completed their studies in India, returned home, and are ready to give back to the society. Governor Mai Malabuni, who hosted the returning students to a grand reception, expresses optimism that the graduates will help bridge the existing manpower gap, particularly in healthcare sector of the state. Yunusa Suleiman brings us the details.
They went to India, sowed the seeds of knowledge and hard work, and conquered their goals by successfully completing their studies, and now returned home to contribute to the development of Yobe State. This summarizes the journey of these 171 young graduates of Yobe State origin, who are beneficiaries of the state's recovery drive through education and scholarship, a component of post-insurgency recovery initiative.
Our journey beyond the shores of Nigeria is nothing short of a transformative one. The immediate cultural shock and the learning curves were exhilarating, challenging, and memorable.
Governor Mai Malabuni emphasized that the state's strategic investment in education is based on the belief that education is key to development.
We have deliberately sponsored a good number of students to study medical sciences to meet our desire of building a robust healthcare system that is effective to meet the challenges of the sector. This will contribute to the speedy recovery, growth and development of our dear state.
Available statistics indicates that in the last 5 years, the state has supported 38,000 students in Nigeria and 400 abroad in pursuing higher education through scholarships and bursaries, a drive it pledges to sustain. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Jigawa State government is set to put over 120 hectares of land into use for wheat production in this cropping season, beginning early October. Governor Umar Namadi dropped the hint while hosting Flour Mills Association of Nigeria for collaboration at the government house in Dutse. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
Given the potential of agriculture in the state contributing 65% to the state GDP, Governor Umar Namadi states that there is no any other option for economic development than through agriculture. This, he says, is the reason Jigawa government is not leaving anything to chance in ensuring that poverty and hunger, which have been identified as root cause of insecurity and other social challenges, are addressed.
Mr. President has given his note that the government will do another 6,000 hectares for us along Hadeja Valley River. Last administration has done 6,000 hectares for us, and now this administration is going to do another additional 6,000 hectares for us.
The National President Flour Mills Association of Nigeria says they were in Jigawa to explore further collaborations with the state government as they prepare to cultivate 10,000 hectares of land for wheat in the state this cropping season.
Our experience shows that Jigawa State is eminently in the forefront because of the participation by farmers who embrace wheat cultivation under your progressive leadership.
With about 2,500 extension agents, Jigawa State is establishing farm mechanization services with the purchase of 300 units of tractors and accessories, as well as combined harvesters and planters, with 30 master technicians heading to China for 3 months training on the equipment's operations and their repairs for mechanized farming in the state. This is coming as the Wheat Farmers Association of Nigeria, on its part, also pledges support to the Jigawa government on wheat revolution to end wheat importation into the country. In Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
We join Jennifer in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Jenny. It's over to you.
Thank you, Lami. Now, giving credence to the success stories of past collaborations which aided the interception of drugs and illicit substances, the Kirikiri Lighter Terminal of the Nigeria Customs Service says it will continue to deepen its partnership in the quest to safeguarding the nation's borders while maintaining public orderliness. The Customs Area Controller, Joy Edeldwak, said this while handing over close to 52 kilograms of cannabis indica worth 260 million naira to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. Michael Olaleye reports that 3 suspects were arrested in connection with the items.
Laying quietly and idle within the Kiwi lighter terminal is this 40-foot container with more details showing 4 imported vehicles. But 100% physical examination by both the Customs and the NDLEA gave shocking revelation, which they credited to intelligence reports. About 52 kilograms of cannabis indica imported from Canada were concealed in the compartment of 2 vehicles out of the 4.
Yes. Initially, there was just one of them who came for the inspection, but when he was detained, he now called the other 2. Incidentally, one of the suspects, his name is on the consignment, so to the best of our knowledge, he is the importer of this container.
While handing over the illicit substances to the NDLEA, the controller said the command's interest is fueled by the negative impact of drugs on the society, warning intended smugglers to have a change of mind.
Who may be contemplating testing the resolve of the Nigerian Customs Service, let it be known that we are unwavering in our duty to protect the integrity of our borders, and we will not hesitate to bring those involved in illegal importation to justice.
For the interest of national interest of this country, we'll continue to work together to rid our country of drugs and drugs abuse.
The Kiwi lighter terminal also used the platform to emphasize its readiness to facilitate legitimate trade. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Now to technology. Adopting emerging technologies that guarantee high-speed internet penetration will not just help Nigeria keep pace with the rest of the world, but also accelerate its mileage in the digital economy. Part of measures to actualize this is the effort by the telecommunication industry in Nigeria to embrace 6G spectrum for more efficiency. Joel Pukwola reports that experts believe that Nigeria will reap enormous benefits from the upgrading.
Just as data is life, internet is the oxygen required for the digital economy to survive. And with the present spectrum for Wi-Fi already saturated, it is now time to migrate to the more robust Wi-Fi 6 gigahertz. This gathering of industry experts and the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) is to think outside the box to hasten the adoption of Wi-Fi 6 and other emerging technologies. Amidst the growing demand for improvement, NCC is open to leverage on Wi-Fi 6 gigahertz to create more opportunities in the sector. The NCC Executive Vice Chairman Aminu Meida, who was represented, is confident that Wi-Fi 6 will be an enabler of Nigeria's digital economy.
With the introduction of a new Wi-Fi frequency and license, you'll be able to have additional 500 megahertz. It's a huge capacity. You'll be able to use applications such as virtual reality, augmented reality. Before now, the size of spectrum that was available will not carry those.
For Atiku Lawal, acting head of Space Unit Spectrum Administration Department at NCC and other industry players, Wi-Fi 6 is inevitable to cope with the expansion of the telecom industry.
It's like opening up more spectrum space for connectivity between devices, device-to-device connection, and also we'll also open it up for the IMT.
Keen into it is for policies to be put in place that will enable the right investment climate into that sector, into our sector rather, and encourage local participation in the industry.
With more than 70 countries already upscaling to Wi-Fi 6 gigahertz, experts say Nigeria cannot afford to be left behind, calling for all to be proactive in meeting up with the trend. In Lagos, Joel Ukbola, NTA News.
Opening more spectrum space. Joel, sounds good. Now, those are the stories from Lagos. Back to
Musa Abubakar to bring us business news.
Well, thank you, Lami. Nigeria is set to update its economic outlook to capture digital economy. informal sector and new ministries as the National Bureau of Statistics begins rebasing the Living Standards Survey, Consumer Price Index and Gross Domestic Product to be released in November this year. To this end, the Bureau of Statistics is dialoguing with experts towards ensuring that the three economic indicators accurately reflect the current structure and dynamics of the economy. Mupulanda Kok reports.
Given the bold and courageous economic reforms currently being undertaken by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. These reforms carry profound implications for our macroeconomic landscape and social environment. Hence, the urgent need for the conduct of the National Living Standards Survey and the rebasing of the Gross Domestic Product and Consumer Price Index.
We are going to be having this dialogue where we present the methodology and the activities that have gone into this rebasing to them so that they can interrogate the methodology and then compare with what is being done in other countries and see that our result at the end of the day can be useful for government, for policymakers, for researchers within the country, as well as being able to compare our results with other nations in Africa and Spain.
The Nigeria Data Protection Commission hits another gear in a drive to improve capacity of data privacy in the country, striking a strategic partnership with the Ministry of Youth Development. Head Legal Enforcement and Regulations, Babatunde Bamboye, in a statement describes the strategic engagement between National Commissioner NDPC Vincent Olatunji and Minister of State Youth Development Ayodele Olawande as a pathway which keys into the 8 priority areas of President Bola Tinubu. This is expected to create at least 5,000 new jobs for trained data protection and privacy officers. And out of the capital market, equities market, and the last week day trading on a bullish note, the all-share index advanced by 0.25% to close at 98,247.99 points. A total of 554 million shares in 8,670 deals, corresponding to a market value of 10 billion naira, were traded. Today's data shows 21% improvement in volume, 55% improvement in turnover, but 12% decline in deals. Market capitalization increased to 56.5 trillion naira. FBN Holdings recorded the highest volume of 152 million traded shares, followed by Japan Gold and Ventures, as well as Fidelity Bank and UAC of Nigeria. Well, that's business news. It's back to you, Lami.
Well, Musa, it's nice doing business with you. Now, the federal government is encouraging Nigerians to embrace the different intervention programs of the renewed Hope agenda designed to empower the citizenry. So, the Ministry of Information and National Orientation is in states across the nation to emphasize the long-term benefits of these policies.
In response to challenges posed by the removal of fuel subsidy, the President has introduced federal intervention programs aimed at easing the burden on citizens. The Ministry of Information and National Orientation in Kogi State is currently sensitizing citizens to the benefits of these interventions, as reported by Jonathan Omajale in Lokoja.
There are a lot of programs outlined for everyone. Market women, they have an initiative to credit facilities.
From Owerri, Chuma Wankure reports that the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation also organized a sensitization workshop to enlighten citizens about the federal government's intervention programs at state and local government levels, aimed at mitigating the impact of fuel subsidy removal.
What I hear and what I see here today, I believe there is hope for Nigeria.
In the same vein, residents of Rivers State have been urged to take advantage of the federal government's intervention programs in the state. Gabriel Amonika reports that this was at the sensitization program organized by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation. In Ilorin, Shola Wahid reports that the forum also identifies that Nigerians, irrespective of faith, tribe and class, must embrace peace and employ alternative to dispute resolution for any meaningful development to take place in the country.
Nigerians needs to be told and to be connected with exactly what they are feeling. One of the major things is that the removal of subsidy has greater effect on people, which is tolling on their head, on their livelihood. So we expect governments to put money from the subsidy removal into education, especially primary and secondary.
The federal government, through President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is making bringing on board different initiatives to make life much more meaningful and better, and to improve our economic situation as a people.
This was unanimously agreed by the guest speaker and other resource persons at the sensitization and orientation section for community leaders and youths on security matters.
You're watching News at 9 on NTA. Sports news and more reports after the break. To stay. We join Ayo Deji for sports news. Hello, Ayo.
Lami, it's good to see you back on the network news. Surely we're going to have a lot to talk about after the news. Let's start from the Olympic Games, where the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development is set to convene a post-games audit and review meeting on Tuesday, which is the 24th of September. And of course, the President and Secretary Generals of Nigeria Olympic Committee and Paralympic Committee have been summoned alongside President, Secretaries General and Technical Directors and coaches of all 12 sports to the Olympics, and all 4 sports to the Paralympics are invited. Of course, that will also include members of the Ministerial Podium Performance Committee and heads of technical departments of the ministry. In a related development, the ministry has constituted an investigative committee on various negative exposures of Team Nigeria at the Olympic and Paralympic Games. The 7-member committee's terms of reference will be provided at the inauguration on Wednesday, 25th September at the Media Center of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. Let's cross over to football, where action will resume on match day 3 of the Nigeria Premier Football League on Saturday, when Lobby Stars of Makudi take on Rivers United at 2 p.m. The other matchups for Saturday will see Federation Cup champions El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri travel to Nasarawa United at the Lafayette Township Stadium. Plateau United at the new Jos Stadium would entertain Niger Tornadoes, while newcomers Ikorodu City travel to play Kwara United. Abia Warriors have a date, of course, with Sunshine Stars of Akure, while Katsina United and Heartland FC of Owerri have scores to settle. Moving on to the English Premier League, following the conclusion of the Champions League match day 1 fixtures midweek. Of course, Saturday in the English Premier League, we'll see West Ham United. Of course, just like we have here, welcome Chelsea to the London City Stadium, while at the Villa Park, it will be Aston Villa, who recorded their first win in the UEFA Champions League for the first time in 4 decades, taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers. Fulham, complete with Nigeria's Calvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi, will welcome Newcastle United to the Craven Cottage, while the star match, of course, the one that will be on the NTA, will be Tottenham Hotspur welcoming Brentford to the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The marquee fixture for this weekend is between champions Manchester City and the runner-up last season, Arsenal. And that's your sports. It's back to Lami.
Thank you, Ayo. Now, the famous Murtala Muhammad Mosque in the ancient city of Kano hosted the Nigeria's Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, who was there to lead the wedding solemnization of his brother, Aminu Abubakar. Aminu Umar reports that the Director General of the NTA, Salihu Abdul Hamid Dembus, was represented.
That was the marriage consent between the Minister of Information, Muhammad Idris, who stood in for the groom, and the Imam Kabir Badamasi, who doubles as the representative of the bride's family. It is the union between Aminu Abubakar and his bride Ruma Sa'u before family, friends, and well-wishers, including the General Manager NTA Kano, Sani Yusuf Hanga, who represented the Director General of the NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos. After payment of 250,000 naira as bride price, the two now become one.
They should be patient with each other. They should know that marriage is not just a bed of roses. There are ups and downs in marriage. It is for all of them to know that they are in it forever. And therefore, they should tolerate each other. They should respect each other. They should also accord each other the desired respect that they all desire.
The smiling groom thanked Allah for witnessing this historic moment in his life.
I'm so excited. I'm very happy. And we are happy for him.
Abubakar also acknowledged all those that came from far and near to witness his marriage. In Kano, Aminu Umar, NTA News.
And that's it on the news. Remain on the NTA Saturday for the sights, sounds and energy of the Edo 2024 governorship elections. From all of us here, do have a good evening.
Embark on a delectable journey of Nigeria, where flavors come to life in Niger's food adventure.
Lose our national heritage if we don't stand up for wildlife. So please report wildlife crimes and say no to illegal bushmeat, because protecting nature protects our future.
This is the network service of the NTA.
At Home Options, you're welcome to a world of elegance, where every corner whispers sophistication. Step into our showroom and indulge your senses with our timeless designs and craftsmanship, from plush sofas to magnificent dining tables that host lifetime celebrations. Our collections, the hallmark of luxury. Create your haven with exclusive bedroom selections and turn your sanctuary into a realm of refined tranquility. When it comes to bathroom solutions, our stylish fixtures, lavish tubs and showers are crafted for your well-being, transforming your daily routine into a ritual of indulgence. At Home Options, we provide lifestyle solutions. So, visit our showrooms in Lagos and Port Harcourt, because your space deserves to mirror your impeccable taste. Home Options. Live well.
This season of Big Brother Naija is a must follow. Follow every twist and turn with eyes wide open. Cause even when the journey begins with chemistry, chaos follows. Strap in for 2 journeys in one house. Big Brother Naija Season 9 premieres Sunday 28 July, 7 p.m. West African time on DSTV 198 and GoTV 49. Gold sponsor, Guinness. Black shines brightest.
The race to qualify for the biggest football competition in Africa is on. The 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. 48 teams in 12 groups, with only the top 2 teams in each group qualifying for the African Cup of Nations in 2025 in Morocco. Don't miss the action, suspense and unrivaled coverage on AfroSport TV and its affiliates partners across Nigeria, starting from September 2024 to November 2024. AfroSport, your freedom of sport.
NTA Television College Jos, with a pedigree of producing indelible professionals in the media space and an affiliate of the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, for the award of degree in mass communication, calls on prospective candidates to leverage on the following courses it offers for 2024-2025 academic session. BSc Mass Communication, those with minimum admissible score of 180 and above who sat for the